Good evening and welcome to our 7 p.m. service. And we are talking about Until Forever, our pre-marriage course. So grab a cup of coffee and let's get real. I am Shirley Potgieter and this is...
Nico?
And we've been married now for what?
A long time.
Okay, yeah, a long time. And with us, joining us, we've got Uncle Joel and Auntie Marianne Dieter.
Hi everybody, and yes, it's so great to be here with our team leaders here. It's going to be a good one for us.
No, I'm excited to be here. Tonight we are the
Matching.
Blommie gedenk aan my.
The flower man and flower girl. See, we're coming from a hippie area, so we're just entertaining flowers tonight. But anyway, I'm glad to be here.
Okay, so I know pre-marriage is for all the couples before you get married. And I know we went for our pre-marriage with the pastor, and we had a lovely pre-marriage course, and it was a lot about communication and the body, soul, and spirit. But we have an amazing course at Word of Faith, and we have amazing topics. Now, Auntie Marianne, I know you were involved in writing this manual for us and setting up the course. What made you decide on these specific topics?
Well, you know, Shirley, before we're going to go into that, maybe I can just ask our media to make sure that our TV is on, because
yes.
we can't see a single person. We don't know who's on talking to us.
There we go.
There we
No,
go.
there you go. Gavin Hendricks is there.
Hello,
Cool.
Gavin.
Yeah,
I hope
let's
to
just
see you guys at our next pre-marriage.
Oh, yes, Gavin is getting married. How cool is it? I think that's the occasion of the season.
Well, only next year or the year after.
Oh, okay, but
Yes.
still. And then Richard White, thank you, Richard, for coming on. How cool is it, you guys? And Charlene,
Oh,
forever, great supporter. You know, we are talking about this little bookie, this manual that we wrote so many years ago. It's been adapted over the years, but it came about because we attended, we had a pre-marriage seminar, because I think every clever church.
I think we must first talk about, when we got married, there was nothing. My mother or my father just said, out of the house, take your wife, and I don't want to see you again. I just want to see the baby coming. That's all. That's
Basically,
how we
it's
started.
true. It's
Get
true.
married, and then we think, oh, it's going to be heaven. So it was not heaven.
And then, I mean, they told you, get married. They actually helped you to get married. And once you're married, they've asked you when is the baby coming. And once the baby is coming, then they ask when the second one is coming. And then after the second one, they will be so brave to ask when the third one is coming.
And not once did my mother or father ask me, how are your marriage doing? How are you doing with your marriage? Not once, because I suppose they didn't know
They
themselves.
assumed. Yeah, they didn't know themselves.
They assume everything is right.
I think that is what it is. People in our days, our parents, and even today in this very enlightened society, people don't know how to help people in marriage, how to bring their children into a place of a safe and a good marriage. It's a difficult thing.
So we were also thinking just before this whole to do this tonight's session, that when I started thinking of getting married, I didn't even comprehend finances in the marriage and all sorts of other things. Yes, I wanted kids, but you didn't think of the whole thing in depth. You didn't know.
you didn't plan for them.
Yeah, no, definitely not.
You did not know a nappy
No.
cost you a salary.
Yeah.
You did not know in our case, steady nappy.
Yeah.
No, what is that other stuff? Steady
Oh,
stumping.
steady-
Steady
oh,
Steady
yeah, with
stumping.
the
Oh,
white thing.
goodness,
Yeah.
it's so
At the- oh.
expensive. And I mean, we struggled financially. So I think there are many people today that are getting married. And I know in many of our lives, we think that we are going to be okay because we love each other. Isn't it so? You love each other.
Yes.
You look at other people going through tough times and you think to yourself, we're not going to be like that. Because we love each other and we laugh a lot now and this is my best friend I'm marrying to. And we think all these things. But give it the first challenge and suddenly you think, who on earth is this person that I'm married to?
What did I
Yeah.
do?
I should have married that one.
Yeah, I think before we actually start, Nico and Shirley, I think my slogan or my thing that I always say, if you start the journey right, it will end right.
That's
If
it.
you start it wrong, it will end wrong.
Yeah.
So, the journey is actually the pre-marriage until forever.
Yeah.
For couples, that's starting because you have to start the journey right.
Yeah.
You have to, if you go to Cape Town, you have to make sure petrol is in the car, the tires are okay. Not just get in the car and think, okay, whatever, we'll get there.
Yes.
So I think that and so many times I see we also start a journey wrong in certain areas, and it started the boomerang.
But you know what is,
the end of,
we think
on
somehow
the way.
if we've got the wedding day planned, and got the wedding dress, and we've got the bridesmaids, the flowers, the minister, the venues, everything, we have our wedding, it's okay, we're going to make it. But life is not made out of that first experience. That is only the breakthrough into a unity. It's a unison.
It's a fairy
not,
tale.
it's not
It's a
your
butterfly
rest of your
section.
life together. And this is why we call this course, and we call it the Until Forever pre-marriage course, because we want you to stay together forever.
Yeah, how I wish we had all these topics when we got married. It would have been, I think our life would have been we're great now, but it took us years to get where we are now. I mean, we have to struggle through everything. So I think the until forever, the starting the right way, it makes it so much easier.
But, Shirley, you were asking me, this book was written many years ago. In fact, I see the first edition was in this was the edited, the added edition was 2017. So I don't know when the first one was made. It's rather important to know that when in this church that we belong to, aren't we in a fantastic
We're
church?
in a fantastic church and a
We have-
fantastic family.
Yeah,
Yes.
we've learned so much over the years. So when Pastor Pierre de Vos and I sat down one day, we said we have to have a practical course for couples. It was just after practical.
I think the emphasis on practical.
Yeah, it's got to be practical. Because we want couples to go away and say, I've learned something, even if it's one good thing. But it was just after we did the personalities in staff with a man by the name of Mark Stein. And that made a lot of sense. Charles and I, we could have easily been divorced because within the first 3 years of our marriage, we discovered we're not what we thought we were. I didn't like this man the way he was, and he didn't like me. But we fell in love with that person before we got married. So now suddenly we found ourselves in a place that we didn't like each other. When we did this course that was in this book,
Changes.
it sort of immediately put things
That's
into
a
perspective.
aha
The
moment.
lights
Yeah.
came on.
Yeah.
I think when we met, Marianne was this talkative, vibrant hands and everything, and I was this quiet farm boy, not the one to talk.
Sure.
Okay, don't laugh.
I can actually not think of it.
So when, after a year, 2 years, I hated this woman that talked so much. Can you just keep quiet and be like a real housewife, whatever you call it? And she was so frustrated with me because I say nothing. I was always in my empty box, say nothing, nothing. She fight with me and I.
But now remember, your nothing wasn't really saying nothing. You were sulking. So you were using a method to prove yourself better than me. And isn't that the problem, Shirley?
Yeah.
It is, and we also experience similar things. I mean, especially in the beginning year, we battled. There was things that I also kept quiet and I needed space to think about whatever we had a discussion about or
And for
a fit
me,
about.
it felt like he was freezing me out
Yeah.
because he's not talking to me. And with this course, when we actually started, we started presenting this course when our little boy was, I think, a year old. So that makes us 10 years in family life now.
Wow. Congratulations, you come around circle.
It's a decade.
It's true.
Yeah. And when we started, we came in with your role. But sitting in that first day at every single topic, and we had that aha moment at the end of it, and we said, okay, so this is what we are supposed to do. And I mean, that was 3 years into our marriage.
Yeah.
And this is the challenge we are facing with many, many people. It's
Yeah.
the same thing. We think we've got it together. So when the personalities came about, we started presenting that. I had so much fun with personalities because people don't really know who they are, but neither do they know who we are. So when we start presenting the personalities, it's the funniest things. And I remember doing the personalities on one couple, and the woman was so angry afterwards. She said, "I'm nothing like that." And I said, "I didn't do the test for you, you know. You did it yourself." She said, "No, I'm a supporter." And I said, "No, you're clearly not. In this, it shows that you're an expressive person." The problem is when we don't understand our personalities, it's hard to find our niche. But when our spouses don't understand our personalities, they
That's
try
worse.
to push us into what they expect of us.
Yes.
So in a marriage, before you get married, you don't worry about these things. On the putting everything together, those things are not important. But a year down the line, those are the things that actually become important.
Yeah.
Because, and would you know, the truth is, Charles is the talker in our home. You all know him, you know him
Yeah.
well. He's the talker in our home. I'm the one that will be more quiet in the background, unbelievably so. Give me an opportunity differently, then I'll do it differently. But he likes to talk. He's a fun, he's a party person. I said to him yesterday, you know, if I got married, if I must think back, when I got married to you, I never thought you would be so crazy. I thought he's organized and quiet. It's like anything but.
Yeah, I think come back to the personality again is that when I discover what Marianne's personality is, and I can't do anything about it. No, I can't. I'm not God. I can't change the personality. I realize that's where everything changes. I think same with Marianne. That's we are, and ever since I discovered that, it makes so. Every time we got a situation where a personality comes up strong, I realize, okay, that's her. I can't change that. And I think that made a big change in our. That's where the change started.
Well, I'm just glad everybody's watching, but I see Gulizar is watching. She's watching all the way from Germany.
Oh, wow, welcome.
So good. We've been praying for her marriage, and I'm really trusting the Lord for a miracle
Yeah.
to come in. But you know, this is it. That's part of what. Remember what you were told before when you did a pre-marriage with some other group,
Yes.
and it's not to put anybody down, but they never taught you these practical
No.
points.
Yeah.
When we did pre-marriage, we did
Mind, soul, body.
body, mind, and soul, and then
Yes.
we have to communicate.
Yeah.
And I have to pray for my husband. And that is a big part of my job, is I have to pray for my husband. But that's not the only job I have. That's not the only thing. I mean, if I knew how to handle my in-laws before I got married and where they fit into our relationship, we would have had a lot of less fights.
Is that got to do with leaving and cleaving?
That's leaving and cleaving.
Yeah.
Now, people
And
don't understand that.
And how the roles work out between the parents and our
circles.
home dynamic works and my parents' dynamic work. Yeah.
Yeah, but I think it's
Quite
also
different.
Shirley and Nico. It's all about the moment you as a woman or a lady leave the home, it's automatically that you cleave to your husband. But
Yes.
isn't it funny that some men can never leave the home because they want to stay? They keep staying mommy's boy. No, I'm not saying you.
No, but I know.
In general, how many times I found that my mummy is the most important thing, and they don't realize that mummy is actually standing in the way. So that is a big thing because when you as a man leave, or I as a man leave the home, I'm now the head of the home. I'm now the father. I'm now the one that must help. She's now the lady. She left already. I got no problem. She will normally a woman will leave his mother and father and not worry. So it makes me more a responsibility. And that is sad that many men don't take up the responsibility. I must leave my mother. I'll tell you one quick story. We visited my mother. My mother always think I was my little boy. So we went
Still
to
a
visit
little
there,
boy.
and my mother said something about Marianne, and I said, no, it's not like that. You must see. And then she said something nasty about Marianne. And so I said, okay, if that's a story, I'm packing my stuff and I'm leaving. I'm going another place. I'm not staying here anymore. And that changed things, everything. My mother knew from that day. She will not get it right that I'm her mommy boy. In actual fact, everything changed. Now, my mother and Marianne was the biggest friends ever since. So, so men out there, take your responsibility, and you left the house already. Mommy is there. You must respect her. And
You see, this is where we teach you the role. That the husband becomes the head.
yeah.
Yes.
He becomes the leader. He becomes the visionary. He becomes the responsible one that must provide. Remember what we show you, the difference between me, because it's easy to have sex.
Yes.
Huh?
Yeah.
Okay, well, it is easy. And it's easy to have that good times together.
That's a
But
good
the moment, because
good
the
topic,
good,
that.
And we do cover that topic as well.
very much, yeah. But the moment it comes to taking the responsibility, it changes everything, because you have to have perspective
Yes.
of what your role is and how you are moving the family forward. And you cannot rely on what your parents did. Remember,
No.
this is what we all do. Is even in our home, I would have gladly have my father lead my home because he seemed to be better. Because I trust him. I know exactly what he does.
Yeah.
But I needed to have a new man lead the house. And it was awkward because this man didn't know how to do money. He didn't know how to have a vision. He didn't know how to be a father. He didn't know any of that.
The same with us. I mean, our things only started when I were in a hospital setting, and my mom did some things, and it upset her, and I didn't understand it. But we had to go through a difficult time to understand, or for me especially, to understand where I need to fit and what I need to do next.
So we learned the hard way.
Yeah.
We learn through fighting, and that's what I love about this pre-marriage course,
Yes.
because it's not just one teacher standing there. It's a couple standing there and telling you what they did wrong,
Yeah,
and
what they
how
felt.
you can learn from what they did.
So it's testimonies.
It's
and
testimonies.
it's experience, and it's not just one couple doing
All of that.
All
all
of
of
the
it.
subjects.
By the end of the day, I'll
it's
be
different
yawning,
couples,
my jaw's
yeah.
broken.
Yeah,
And
no.
every couple that is chosen for the specific topic has an experience in
Yes.
that topic.
So the other topic, because as we were progressing in writing this little manual, there were lots of things we looked at, and then came about finances. And I realized I cannot tell you of one pre-marriage course ever that I know of that teach the couples how to do finances.
No.
There's a lot of questions when couples are getting married. Who's going to deal with the finance? How do we budget? Who do we listen to? You earn more than him.
Yeah.
Who's the boss now?
No.
What is happening? You're jobless. You're this, you're that. We have all these questions coming together. Now we're getting married. We're putting our eggs in one basket. Who now runs? I've got all these clothing accounts. My goodness, I had clothing accounts.
Yeah.
Same with me.
And it was tough for him because he would rather walk naked than having an account. So he didn't understand that I wanted clothing accounts. It was hard, it was wrong, and we changed that whole scenario many, many years ago. But the truth is, we did not have a plan for that. Nobody taught us
No.
that you, and then on top of that, nobody taught us where Jesus Christ fits into our finances. And that's not a spiritual talking.
No.
It's just an understanding that's basics. Put your basics together, work out, and it's even they show you how to do a budget.
Yeah.
Yes.
But,
Yeah, I think it's also, I mean, at one stage we were so blacklisted, our credit record was pathetic. I mean, we couldn't even buy a Wilson toffee on credit. So it sucked. Yeah. So, but I mean, I think that helped us now from then, we realized that we must buy everything cash or leave it, you know. But that forces us, it was not a decision. But you can make it, I mean, if we knew these things before, when we got married, it would have been so much better. We would never be in a situation where we're blacklisted to the, I mean, the list was long forever. And we will be financially better off as well, you know, if we had just that this thing that somebody was telling us about finance.
And
And I
then,
must say, Justin and Tess doing a good job.
They are.
They are doing a good job with
And the young people.
yeah.
The other thing is at this training that Pierre and I, Pastor Pierre and I, we presented everything initially because we started this off. So as couples, we were presenting things all the time. And we discovered a few better ways and how to make it more practical, because this is as much as we want to do. We want a couple to leave after that Friday and Saturday and say, I have tools.
Yes.
Listen, it's not meaning that you're not going to violate these tools.
No.
It doesn't mean that.
Yeah.
But if you remember some of these things, they will come back to you. And many couples tell us, what we are applying now is what we learned at the pre-marriage. So that pre-marriage is so important. So over the years, we learned that we needed to be far more practical. So Pastor Pierre and I then decided to have different couples presenting. And then I always say to him, it's because, sometimes the pastor can stand there and alone and preach. And you think, do you even know what it is like you're talking about? Because you're talking your head, you're talking, but I'm not seeing the reality of your life.
Yes.
And I think the secret of what we've gathered in the Unbreakable, or all our courses,
All our
actually,
courses,
is that we do not, we're not a soul ministry. We have the two of you, you come with your experience, and then that experience that you just shared now is a phenomenal experience, because people don't know that you actually threw things at this man.
Yes, I did.
You're a violent woman.
I am.
And I think, Shirley, if we can, I know maybe the topic of sex is not, but we're not going to talk about sex. When we got married, we didn't know anything. Nobody explained or teach us or give us any information about sex. But a lot of couples maybe come to the thing, they had bad sex experience in their past. I mean, that's very important, that the couples must know what to do, because all of a sudden these two, we are together now and the past is behind us. And I think that experience as well, it's a huge thing on people's life, bad sexual experience of the past.
And that is what we are having now when we come to this training, this course, the Until Forever, is we're trying to break the experiences from the past.
Yes.
Even, some of the couples coming here are in remarriage, no? You
Yes.
know them.
Yeah.
And when they're in a remarriage and they hear this, what do they say? I wish I knew this. With
The
my
first time around,
I
yes.
wouldn't have made the same mistakes.
If I know what I know today, I would have never made the mistake.
The same mistakes. So there's a lot of things that are so extremely valuable. And then when we came to the vision for your family, I think that is a later topic that I added.
Yes.
Yes.
Because I actually started seeing this scenario happening. Our church has got a vision. At the time, when Pastor Crompton Sr. was still alive, he had a vision for 400 Connect groups. It's still continuing. We have a vision to reach Pastor Richard now wants to reach the whole of Africa. So we have a vision for that. We have a vision for children's church. Pastor Elaine and Pastor Matthew, they're busy with youth and children's ministry.
Yes.
And they have visions for these things. But we go to work. And what is your work vision? Is that you want to enlarge your territory there. You want to grow electrical wires wherever in the
Go
world.
to the next level.
So we have vision. Charles has a vision for his business. He wants to sell so many houses a week or a month or a year, and he wants to fix whatever we have in life. Everywhere you go, there's a vision. Even our state president is going to speak tonight and tell us about his vision for ISCOM. Life is about a vision. We all have, and the Bible says clearly, without a vision, the people perish. But we send couples into the rest of their lives together without a vision.
Yeah.
So one of the big things that came to us is that we had to teach our couples how to have a vision for your family, how to have a vision for the two of you. And it's about body, soul, and spirit. How to have a vision for the two of you, how to have a vision for what you are planning. So simple things, and we didn't even know about vision. But we decided, I think very early in our married life, something like 3 years, 4 years in our married lives, that we will have a holiday every year. So even if we had no money, even if we scraped money together, I remember once Charles was still working at the railway, and we could travel on the train for free all the way. So we had a free pass all the way to Durban, and coming back we had 10 rand. And people, at Kimberley, and when we were there at Kimberley, it's in, so you are lying there for about 2-3 hours at Kimberley waiting for the train to go. At least we bought our food tickets for the train and we had it in advance. But that 10 rand is all we had. And then I suddenly had stomach cramps and I needed medication.
Oh.
But I also had my monthlies and I was running out of that. We were young people, we had a baby, young children. And so we were suddenly in a place of just a 10 rand and no plan. We didn't have a plan for that, but we planned to go on holiday every year. Now, our children know that we planned our best holidays around the no money seasons. But we had a holiday every year, not staying in the house saying we're going to camp in the backyard. Packing the bags, getting in the car, going somewhere. So I think that's a simple little vision that we had. Only later on, after the fiasco with our finances that we were so badly blacklisted, we realized we never had a vision for our finances. We never had a vision to buy home. We never had a vision to get our children into homes. We never had a vision to buy cars. We never had a vision for studying. We didn't have a vision for ourselves growing older, that we will be secure. So these are the things that we want our couples now to start
Yes.
off, having a vision for your life. And then every year look at your vision and say to yourself, is this still practical? You know, in the business, what do? You sit and we do that at Word of Faith.
Yeah.
We look back and we say, did this work? Did that work? Are we changing that? What are we doing
We
better?
reevaluate.
We reevaluate. So
I think also, vision is very much important. That if Marianne's got a vision for her own life, that I support that. Because you know what, this is where the conflict comes. When I got a vision for something, and Marianne don't support me, it's very bad, or vice versa. So I think that we help us a lot, because when Marianne's got something, a vision for her life, I support it. Maybe not in physically, but I support every vision, and vice versa as well. So that is make us very strong. So we end up like we're having the same vision. There's some, at the end, it end up. So that vision story, but for couples is important.
We have a couple, I don't even know who presents the vision, but it's so important that couples come to this until, listen, you may be watching there and you know of a couple getting married, but I have a couple that are married that are saying they're going to do this now. Because like you, they never had this course. It's a phenomenal course.
Yeah.
Tell us
It
about
is.
the course quickly, Shirley.
It is on a Friday evening. We start at 7 in the chapel. We start first off with Pastor Fritzie, and then Saturday morning we start bright and early at 9 a.m. We go through until 4, and your lunch is included. Our next Until Forever course is starting on the 4th of November. It is only 250 rand, and it's lunch included. So 250 rand is not expensive if you think of what
A divorce cost.
a divorce costs.
We always use that one. Divorce is expensive.
But is it a very much a
Confrontational.
confrontational?
No, it's not confrontational. It is fun.
Yeah, we try to make it really
We
fun.
make it fun. And that's what is so nice about this course, because every couple have
Talk to
their
each other.
unique experience that they put into this.
Yeah.
And their unique flavor
Yeah.
that they give to it.
Okay, yeah.
And it's one generation imparting wisdom into the other generation.
Wow.
And
But you
for
guys
us,
don't, just a question, you don't come with we know better than you
No.
attitude.
we're still learning.
Yes, yeah. No, there's so many things. I mean, and while you're presenting, obviously, yes, we have course material that we stick to, and but you want to better yourself as well. So we obviously go and look at other videos and testimonies and things out there, and you impart something new and others, and that's how we grow in this presenting as well. So it's not just for the people coming, it's actually the presenters also learn something. So, and that we've picked up so many times.
Every time we do this course, we learn something else.
Yeah.
Us as presenters
Yes.
learn something.
Yes.
Yeah, I know we do the romantic weekend, and I am telling you, that after every romantic, even the unbreakable marriage,
Yes.
when we do the unbreakable marriage, when we leave there, we've listened to you guys. We are the old blokes, but I tell you one thing, when we listen to the young people, we learn.
You just can't get enough.
Yes,
It's
we
like-
learn. Yeah.
One thing that we learned from you is to always keep studying each other and
Studying your spouse.
study your spouse. And we take that to heart.
Yeah.
And with this course, you start studying, especially with the
Yeah.
personalities.
What is our favorite? Be intentional.
Be intentional.
Is it your
Yeah.
thing? And so, yeah, you're talking about this with the personalities. Then I think one of the leaving and leaving thing. I think many people don't understand leaving and leaving because we think. We will leave the husband's wife, husband's parents, we will leave. But there's a lot of leaving because it's leaving body, soul, and spirit. It's a different kind of leaving. It's not just moving out of the house. It's moving with your soul out of the house. It's not just moving your body out. It's easy to move the body out, but your soul is attached there to the background. And then, so it is
And
one
your
thing.
wallet.
And your wallet. Yeah, your
Your
wallet.
wallet can also stay attached.
But then we also find that when you were in the house, nowadays especially, I was called in to come and speak to a couple once, and she said, the wife said, I'm more lonely in this marriage than I've ever been in my own house. So when I started asking out, he's still playing, he's a gamer, and he plays games with his friends, and he's on big matches, and he's going for big things, and she sits all by herself all the time. So there has to be a leaving of friends as well.
Yes.
Your friendships must be limited because remember what we teach in the leaving those circles.
Yes.
That in the inner circle, it's just the two of you.
No.
There's no space for mommy, daddy, brother, friend, for anybody, even if you are coming from a previous marriage, because often you will have the other spouse wanting to have a say about the children in this marriage. You have no space there because it's the two of you.
And that's where date nights need to come in.
And that's what we teach as well.
Yes.
Talk about that.
So while we're doing this course, and Unbreakable Marriage also, for every
Friday
Friday
night.
After that, so that's what we bring in. Listen, we need time with each other to, obviously to study each other, but also to have that special moment where I can sit down with a cup of coffee and ask, listen, are we still okay?
That knee-to-knee sessions.
You know, one of the things too with this training material is that we have learned there are 7,000 million topics. If it's possible to say a word like that, sounds like Jacob Zuma. I'm bad with figures. But there are so many topics out there that you can cram everything in. So what we did in this manual is we looked at what we have in our area. What are the practical topics for this area? And these are the ones we put in the pre-marriage. Obviously, if we could have a couple for a week, we'll change whatever we do. But this is a Friday and a Saturday only. So we only give the strongest tools that we can possibly give. There's another one that we also have here is prepare.
I was just going to ask Prepare Well. Why did you choose Prepare Well?
Well, you know, in the beginning, when we have couples coming to the pre-marriage, we ask them, who's marrying you? I don't know. Which church are you? In Word of Faith. When are you getting married? 4 weeks from now. You don't know who's marrying you. So we've put together a lovely little checklist for the couples. They can say who's they are. Now that checklist also puts in their ID numbers and everything. That checklist goes to the marriage officer, the person that's marrying them. So it makes their life a lot easier. So it doesn't put this disjointed information together.
Yeah, and if you don't know, I mean, Shona Petzer is the guru, the wedding planner.
Wedding planner.
Shona Petzer is on the.
She's talking there to
she's
you
talking
right
there.
now. Hi, Shona.
Yes. Yeah, she said, come to Romantic Weekend because we will teach you a lot of tools.
More tools.
More. Okay, listen, Kazuka Lots is the one. You know, this is another level.
Yeah.
So, anyway. So, Shona Petzer will definitely help you there.
And this is what we want. We don't want, because what we find with married couples, they have a dress, they have a date, they've got a photographer.
There we go.
They may have a wedding cake.
Yeah.
But for the rest, they're wondering. The problem is they fall between the cracks with this whole thing because you're in that church, I'm in this church. Ooh, which church? We haven't been to church for years. It's fine. If you've not been to a church for years, you're welcome to contact us because we will do your wedding.
Yeah.
And because you know what, we will also connect you to this cause because we, one of the things we have as a principle in this church,
Is accountability.
and if you go from and come from another church, you want us to marry you.
You have to do this.
So you had a
Yes.
brother that's in another church.
Yes, and they came and they really learned a lot through doing this course because there's obviously life skills. It's things that,
like
practical things that they didn't know that just assist.
But what is accountability? I mean, what will you say is accountability? How will you, to who will you be accountable to? I'm talking about, we talk about the
Being married,
forever.
Being
for
married.
No, for the forever. I mean,
What
obviously these
we
people
tell
must
our
have
couples is, especially in your role in the marriage, don't go to your friends. You're not accountable to your friends. What's happening in your marriage? My father passed away when I was 17, or 16, going on 17. But I've got this strong brother. So if Nico and I have a fight, I can't go to my brother and say, Nico did this and this and this, because tonight I go home and Nico and I make friends and
Make up
we
and-
love each
yeah.
other again. But my brother always has that, he hurt my sister.
So
So he doesn't trust Nico anymore.
yes.
He doesn't treat him like a brother anymore because he hurt me. And what we tell our couples is, you are accountable to a couple. Choose a couple that's
Objective
older,
couple.
wiser,
Yes.
and still married.
Yes.
Don't go looking for advice with a divorced couple.
Yeah.
Or a
Well,
person that's
sometimes if a
divorced.
divorced couple is really born again, they will tell you, look, I'm in this mess because I did not listen.
Yeah.
Might be a good couple to follow.
Yeah,
But
I think
this
it's just, you know, it's, if you check their life out, if their life is like, then
Must
you'll
be
go.
good fruit in that
Yeah,
life.
so we had a couple of people that was accountable to us for their marriage, very much for them. And we talk marriage here, and accountability, especially men, they don't want to be accountable.
Why did the Lord make men?
Yeah.
I'm just
Why was it
asking
so
for a friend.
complicated?
Why are
Nico?
they so
Why
complicated?
are we so? You know what? You will ask Shirley, how's your marriage doing? No, we got big problems. Nico, how's your marriage doing? No, everything is fine.
No problems there.
So you know, men out there, please
Wake up and smell the
like, get yourself somebody that you can be accountable to, and you will see everything will change because a lot of us we think we'll be judged. I think that is the
Yeah, you
biggest.
always think you're the only one.
You're the
Yeah,
only
you're the
one
only one
going
that's going
through
through,
this. And this
Yeah, we
course
get that
is
a lot.
in a class setting. So you've got different couples coming from different backgrounds, and they all have insight. And they all say, I never thought of it like that. And you learn from each other in the class. And
It's a lot of laughter though, because
it
Yeah.
is.
when the penny drops for some people, you
Yeah.
hear them laughing. They say, "Oh, I never knew that."
Yeah.
It is very
It is.
funny. Yeah.
It's funny to see the reactions of the people, just to say, oh, that's why you like that.
And then another thing, you know, so many times I'm changing the topic now again. They said love and respect. The wife must respect the husband must love the wife. Now, I think people interpret that totally wrong, the respect part, because the men think you must like bow down, do what I say, whatever.
I'm control.
I'm in control. I'm the boss.
on,
Sorry, my booty, you're wrong. Respect is maybe you can explain what. There's a saying that says, a man would love to come home where he's respected. A woman would love to come home where she's loved. So you choose. Okay.
And it's important, and I think about respect, something that we have now gathered over the years is that I respect Charles for the role of being my husband.
Yes.
But I do not respect him when he's bullying me. Because I don't have to respect that. But it doesn't change the role. He's still the head of the home. He's still my husband. He's still the one that must lead the family. But I do not have to respect the rest. But the point is, I will never speak to my husband about him bullying me. I will not say to him, "Now I disrespect you." I just ignore. I choose to ignore it. You can choose your battles, eh?
Yes.
No,
Yeah,
always.
you must choose your bad too.
Yeah.
But some of the things we do is we need to respect the role all the time. It doesn't mean you must be bullied in the process. You can still be your own person. And then also, if a husband is very controlling, I do not respect the control. I respect the role.
Yeah.
So that's the difference. And if I respect the role, what is the role? He's a good provider. He's a good leader. He's a good protector. Those are the things that the Bible talks about. When I fall into that place and I respect that and I tell him, thank you for buying us this beautiful house. Thank you. Charles just bought us a new fancy vehicle. So thank you for buying, and it's a safe vehicle for me to travel in, because that's his first responsibility, is to protect.
Yes.
So he puts me in a safe vehicle. I can travel anywhere and I'm safe. What is he doing? He's protecting me. So I respect that. I respect the things. And I tell him, gee, we live in a safe neighborhood because you did it. You chose well. You chose well with us. So the more I thank him and praise him for the things that is to be respectful, the more the other things are just being chopped off by itself.
I think it's also, I think, Marianne, what you're doing, many times you will, you have the answer. You got the answer.
I always have an answer.
Yeah.
Then he will still,
We do.
but then she will still ask me, and or somebody will ask her something. Say, no, can ask Charles. She got an answer.
It's
She know what to
respect.
say. But I feel good when somebody says, "No, your wife said I must ask you." It's like, I feel good. And that makes me love her easier, because it makes it easier for me to love her, because I know that respect that she's giving me. And
Just the little things, even when
kids.
the kids, and even when my mother-in-law phones him and says, or my mom phones me and say, come for dinner. It's like, okay, but I'll check with Nico.
Yeah.
Before I say yes.
Yeah.
That's respect.
And doesn't he feel good after that?
Yeah.
Because he will feel much better. He will feel good, and it makes him easy to love you again.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, this is it. You know what I think that couples need to do, and I think some of the married people can do it again. But the same night, Friday night, we're starting the Unbreakable
Unbreakable
Marriage.
Marriage.
Our time is running out, Shirley.
Yes.
I'm
Yes.
seeing this.
I'm seeing the time's running out, but
It's
just
so good when you
before,
have fun.
just before that, one of the topics that's really important that we cover is the covenant.
Oh, yes. Yeah, you can never have a marriage. You can never come in agreement with each other without understanding the covenant of Jesus Christ. You can never. And I think in the world today, the covenant of Jesus Christ is pushed aside all the time. And we're just making marriages and coming together with open doors all the time. But when we are in covenant, when a husband steps into this covenant, he comes into this position of his wife. When he steps into this position of his wife, he comes into the protector. He comes into the place. He's just under Jesus Christ, because that's what the Bible says. So he comes into this place where he protects. The moment he lifts that protection, she's free game.
Yeah.
Anybody can do anything. Her life is a mess, and you're the responsible one. So I think the covenant, and we wrote it specially so that we will have our couples understanding that it's not, listen, nothing of this, there's no sermons in here.
No.
It's just wonderful, easy, light, practical ways of talking to the couples, and nothing is longer than 35, 40 minutes. So I'm sure every couple that will do it will enjoy it.
Yeah, and it's coming, and this lasts for 4 weeks. Okay.
No.
No. This
This
is just
one is only the Friday and the Saturday night.
No. We're talking
Unbreakable.
about
Unbreakable marriage.
Yes.
Yeah. That is for married couples, regardless age.
Yes. After you've done pre-marriage and you've gotten married a month or so, then you do the unbreakable
But
marriage.
Shirley, we recently had a couple that did the pre-marriage, and he was in his 50s or he's in his 60s.
He was in his 60s.
You see, she was a bit younger, and that's their second marriage.
Yes.
And he was over the moon. He said this was the most amazing series that he's done. He said he's never seen marriage like that in that light. And I want to just honor the men. Like Charles just said, men, they say there's a book for women, It was 1,000 pages. You know these guys that buy the book for women? It says book for women. And then when you turn the pages, they're all blank because men will never understand women. But the thing is, we find that there is a book out for men. It's got only one page. It says complicated. Very
You get that.
complicated. Because they should be easy to understand, but they're not. It's complicated. Men are,
like it.
they're
Oh.
full of pride.
Yeah.
Men don't like to
Make
admit.
me special.
Men don't want to come to a course like this because they may think that they are the weak one, but it's not true. You are investing in something that is going to give you the benefits for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
This is your best investment.
What is my I say? You will come to this unbreakable marriage course, and you will find out the girl is actually a nice girl.
Listen, I'm just saying,
Yeah, I was just
they recently attended the Unbreakable Marriage, and they look at what she says. Unbreakable marriage is a must to attend for married couples. They've had a great experience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I've known about couples that was on the brink of divorce that came to this course, and it saved their marriage.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
So we really want. Now, Gulazor, I don't know how. I just know you as another name because she's from another country. Julia, I just know her as Julia. Julia, it's great. Thank you for watching us all the way from Germany. We trust the Lord that He will restore your marriage. And this is what God is. He's the restorer. He's the healer of broken hearts. God wants to bring, the marriage is intended for us for joy. Although we are now married 45 years, going for 46 years one of these days. And in this time, I'm still getting to know these complications that I got married into.
I like it.
Keep you
Make
on
me
your
special.
toes.
Make me special.
He keeps me on my toes, yeah. It's
Just
complicated.
when you think you know me, then
Then I don't know.
Okay, so what we've got coming up at the end of this month is
This Friday night.
this Friday night.
Yeah, this Friday night is the romantic weekend out at Kazuko Lodge, and it's 5,200 rands. We have space for one or two couples, so if you want to still come, please quickly, the number is appearing on the screen right now. It's a WhatsApp number. It's Shelley, can you say that number? You know that number, 067. There it is.
There we go.
On the screen,
067 003 5623.
If you would like to still go to the romantic weekend, it's 5,200 and it's 5-star. You should be paying 15,000. You're getting it for 5,200 for the two of you.
Yeah.
If you would like to go, there's still space. Just send your name there. Say, I want to go to the romantic weekend. Then
And we will contact
next
you.
week, is it this Friday night that we started? No,
next week Friday
Next week is the
Until Forever pre-marriage course, 250 rand. It's the Friday and the Saturday. Contact the office, or you can also send a WhatsApp,
To this
and
number.
we will contact you. And then starting on the same Friday night is our Unbreakable Marriage course, which is 180 rand. That is for 4 weeks,
for Friday night.
4 Friday nights.
And you
One
can come.
payment.
You can
One
come,
payment for a couple,
Yeah,
180 rand.
and you can come and bring your children because there's enough facilities for your children
Yes,
to go.
we've
to.
got youth, we've got Y2 Jam. There is enough space for your children. Bring them along, and you can come and invest in your marriage.
Yeah.
yeah. Okay, and then Kazuko Lodge on the 28th of this weekend, this Friday night.
October, yes.
I think Richard White saying that, but he said that's another level.
That
Richard
is another
White
level.
He's
Been
been there
there
the
about a couple of months ago, and he said he want to go again. So if somebody say that, it means like there's something to catch up. You want to go back, and the Kazuko Lodge is amazing place. You want to be. We're not
And
allowed to say too
remember,
much.
At Kazuko, it's different than this.
Yeah,
It's different.
In fact, every course that we present is different than the
Yes.
other one.
Yeah.
It's
And
so
we've got
funny.
different presenters at each course,
Yes.
doing different things.
Because people expect a church scene, and it's not like
It's
that.
not. We have so much fun.
Yeah.
And just a little funny thing, we actually went to Kazuko Lodge at one of the romantic weekends to do our vision for our family.
Yeah.
Because it's a quiet setting in nature. So we went and we came home with a vision for our
Wow.
family.
Yeah.
Wow, that's
Yeah,
phenomenal, eh? It's beautiful.
It's
and-
beautiful there.
yeah.
Yeah, Shona said we can take 4 more couples.
Thank you, Shona. Thank you, Shana. And if you would like to sponsor a couple, why not?
Why
don't you
not?
just send a WhatsApp to this
Yeah.
number and say, I want
That-
to sponsor 500 Rand or 1,000 Rand towards a couple going on the romantic weekend.
It's-
Yeah, it's,
It's
maybe,
guaranteed that we'll fall on good soil.
you know what, you remember that Richard van Heerden never had a girlfriend, and we told him to invest. He must sponsor somebody for the Arise conference, for the Women Arise conference. And we said, sponsor for a wife. So he sponsored, and just after that, he found his wife.
Yeah.
So, hey, if you're not
Yeah.
married, why don't you send another couple
Yeah.
on the romantic
Romantic
weekend?
weekend.
And God will send you the right woman.
There we go.
Yeah.
And if you don't have the big amount to sponsor, you can sponsor a couple
Yeah.
for the Unbreakable as well.
Yeah.
Yes.
Awesome.
But our time is running out, and I just want to, the last note, please remember, WhatsApp us, and yeah, we'll see you at Until Forever. No?
Yeah.
It's complicated. Thank you all for
Thank you all for
watching.
watching,
Yeah.
and everyone online. Thank you for coming on. Thank you for sharing, tagging, and commenting. We enjoy and we read every single comment, and we love you guys out there.
And we will see you
Yeah.
on one of the courses.
And we will see you on the course.
Yeah, and remember, our heart is for your marriage. Our heart is to marriage to be, not to be changed, but to be healthy. And that, I think that is
that's
the
the
whole
goal.
thing of what we're doing is to have healthy marriages.
Marriages.
And that is our main aim. And that family can grow and have new generations with healthy generations
Yes.
to come.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
See you all. Bye.
Bye.